and then just yeah, that's what it's done. There's a track, a white track, on the river. Yeah, we did what we said.
Good morning, everyone. Good to have you here. Thank you so much for attending the session. Today's session is all about IT and IT careers and how we can get that dream job that we're looking for, or if we're looking for a career advancement, what we're looking for, how we can advance in that. And we also will be talking about what are the recruitment processes that's involved in the hiring processes, and what are the do's and don'ts during the processes. We'll be hearing from industry experts on what their IT journey was all about, how did they start their career in IT, also what does a day in the life of an IT personnel look like, right? So we'll be looking at all that from different perspective. We'll be firing some questions to the panelists. We have panelists Meena, Navina, and Nick from different domains in IT, and they'll be sharing their experiences, their journey, and everything about IT. So a bit of a housekeeping rule. We will put our mobile phone on silence. If please put that in silence. Next thing, what we will be doing is it's a toilet. If you don't know, toilet is just outside here and then straight forward on your right-hand side. Another is if you have any questions, the questions will be entertained at the end of the session. So if you have any questions, please keep a note of that, and then we will be answering that. You can ask each panelist, that you can target the panelist, what questions do you have, right? So we'll start from there. Having said that, I'll take a seat, and then I will pass this microphone to our panelists to start introducing them. So I'll start with Nick.
Hey everyone, is it on? All right, can you hear me, guys? Okay, I mean I can. That's all right. Hi everyone, Nick Casey here, and to give you very quick introduction about myself. I've been working in IT industries for like last 8 to 10 years in several domains, including support, engineering, analysis, security. And today I'm here with the main motive to help you guys with your next process, next step, next forwarding strategies in your life so that you can get the most out of it.
Thanks, Nick. Hi, everyone. I'm Nabina. So I've been working in IT for almost 3.5 years. Then I made a huge change in career about 6 months ago, where I changed from IT to a business economic development kind of role. But being in IT, what my journey was, I would be so keen to share with you, and maybe you can relate with me. Being in IT, starting in IT, what I went through, what was my journey like, I will be really delighted to share that with you, and I will pass this on to Meena now.
Thank you, Navina. So, yeah, hi everyone, my name is Meena. I'm the CEO for IT Together with Om over there in the back corner. I also own and run Hello Success, which is a personal coaching and success business. I've been fortunate enough over the last 20 years to work with thousands of people in Australia and helping them get to the next phase of life. We've run multiple MSP and IT companies, and I guess today we just want to make sure like we can help you as much as you can, you know, in this competitive landscape, especially within the IT industry, and give you that front foot. So please listen as much as you can, ask us questions at the end, and we hope you have a good day.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you so much for that lovely introduction. I'd like to open up with a question that everyone wants to know, right? Like how careers actually begin. At what point did you started working in IT? So I would like to hear from Meena, like when and how and what made you think of going into the IT industry?
Yeah, of course. Look, my career started a very long time ago. I'm a lot older than a lot of you guys, but my first job was actually at McDonald's. But don't tell my kids that because they're not allowed to eat McDonald's. But I guess with IT, I kind of formed into IT maybe 8 years ago, running a big IT kind of tech company. And the future is tech. The future is IT. The next 5-6 years, the government, the Australian industry, we're investing billions and billions of dollars. Most of you will know doing the courses you've already done that everything runs through IT right now. Whether you're, you know, an accountant or a mortgage broker or a teacher, you need some form of tech. So when I started running the last MSP company I worked for, I quickly identified that if I don't stay in IT, if I don't stick to IT, my corporate my corporate job or my career is going to end. It was pretty simple that in 5 years' time, 6 years' time, especially in Western or like Australia or America or the UK, everything will be run by tech. So like you can go get a job. I don't know, I'm not scaring anyone else that doesn't work in tech, but it doesn't matter what industry you're in, there'll be a form of tech that takes over. So I quickly identified about 8 years ago that if I don't stay within this industry, and that's what I mean, myself and Om started IT together and work closely with other IT companies, that I'll fall behind and I won't have a job in 5 years' time. So I stuck to it. I wanted to stay in it. I made sure that I'm not a technical expert myself, as in I'm not an engineer or a analyst myself, but I still stay really engaged in like what's going on around the world, what's going on around the industry. I speak to Om and the guys at Click like frequently about the trends, how to stay ahead of other people, how to stay ahead of the tech. We know tech changes every day, so you can't just come in and do a course and say, oh, I'm now an IT analyst, I'm going to stick to that. You got to say, okay, I'm an IT analyst, but today I've got to learn how to do app development. Tomorrow I've got to learn how to do cybersecurity. You got to be ahead all the time. But I guess for me, tech is fun, tech is interesting, it's changing the world. My son's 7 years old and he can build a website, he can code, so like if a 7-year-old can do it, how's, as 20 or 30-year-olds, or we all have to keep doing it because we'll fall behind and then 5 and 10-year-olds will take our jobs. So my main thing is just staying ahead of the game, staying ahead of the industry and continuously learning.
That's a really good insight, Mina. Like learning, it never ends, right? So that's the good insight. From a different perspective, how would you, like coming as an international student, not on you,
Okay.
how would you, coming as an international student, how was early days for you, and how landing a job in IT, how did that start? Can you elaborate on that, please?
Sure. Thank you. It's very important for someone who came from overseas, how we come here and then how we start learning something in a totally different culture, in somewhere where we don't know anybody. I think it's very important to always, tie back ourselves to our country and then where we come from, our culture. So being an international student, it wasn't always fun and then going out, posting pictures, always happy. No, there were some crying moments, or there were somewhere where we had so much challenges that we just feel like stopping and going back to our country, I think. But then it's that point where you realize, okay, this country has so much opportunities for me. As an international student, if I can get this much of opportunity where I can grow and then where I can be what anybody else can be, that was very important for me to realize that. So at first I came to one of the universities in Sydney, and that was a culture shock for me. Then I started learning there. I changed my uni to, went to VU. I completed my bachelor's in IT like everybody else probably who have finished their degree in uni. It was very challenging, but then I got really good score, which was really grateful, and I'm grateful to all those teachers there. Then I started thinking about what I want next. It was definitely a career in IT too. So that's when I just sit back a little bit, think about how I want my future to be, what I want to be, where I want to land. And I did a very bold move that I left my what job I was doing, which was customer service. I left that. I had saved enough for 2 months. So that was a bit of a move that I did. And then I stopped doing everything else, and I focused myself on finding that one job where I could start. Getting into that entry-level job was the difficult part, because after that it's all flowers and then happiness, right? That's what we think. Then what I did was I left that job, then I started looking for jobs. I would get almost 60 rejections a day, right? That would demotivate me, as how everybody think about it, as you would get at least 2 to 3 interviews in a day, or as if you apply 100 of jobs, you would get at least 5 reply back saying, thank you, congratulations, you are selected, right? But then we always see, unfortunately, this time, you're not selected. I'm sure that everybody have seen that, right? So that was me too. Then I thought, okay, that's okay. You have to push yourself, pat yourself on back. At least you're applying. At least you're better than half of the other students who are just giving up. before starting. Then I kept on applying. I finally landed one interview because not a job, landed one interview. Then it was an online interview, so I did online interview. They had their camera off. I had my camera on. It was very difficult situation for me because one, I'm not comfortable with cameras. I'm still not, okay? You would think, okay, she's confident. No, I pull it off. I just pretend like I'm confident. So that time also I was like that. And then I answered their questions, but someone who did not have any experience in IT, they would ask me, how would you fix this? What would you do in this situation? More technical kind of things. I was very disappointed because I couldn't answer everything that I learned in uni, and then something that I did not have experience on, I could not speak confidently. But then came soft skills questions. Okay, questions like, what would you do in this situation if your customer was difficult? That was something I could shine on, right? Then I started answering confidently. I was like, okay, yes, this is what I would do. I would give them star kind of answers. And then I shined as a star. Okay, then they replied me back day after tomorrow saying, you are selected, you are going through another interview, but this will be more kind of background check of interview, the references kind of thing. So I was very happy. Then I got another interview landed through a network. Then if you know Om, I have to give him this credit because what he did was he had his friend in the same company. So he spoke with that friend, and then through network, I got another interview in the same company but different department. It was a medical support engineer role. Then I did an interview with them. They asked me, can you do interview in 10 minutes? I was like, okay, that isn't that professional of you, but it's okay, I can do it because I'm free, right? I left everything behind to get that job. So I did an interview. I answered everything, and I was more prepared this time because I got that experience, that difficult interview experience. So I was more confident this time, and then I landed both jobs. I got offer from both jobs. Now I have to decide which one to take, right? So there's always a salary that comes first, and then what I align with, what my goals are, where I want to get that good experience, because that's gonna be my first, and that's where I actually learn real industry experience, right? So that's when I chose medical support engineer. I did not choose the other one, which was more like service desk. That's where I learned, because it was a MSP, it was very good opportunity to learn from there. Then from there, I landed my government sector job, which is the company that I'm working on. It's Cumberland City Council. It's just next to Parramatta. So that's where I'm working right now. But then working there for about 2.5 years, I got an opportunity again. There was one job role, advertisement, which was different than IT. Then I thought, okay, this is a really good opportunity for me to learn something that's more leadership rather than IT technical, because I was doing everything repeatedly. I was so happy in my IT role, don't get me wrong, because it's always not, something bad that you change your career. It's something that you want to progress yourself. You want to show that you are somebody who wants to learn more, right? That's when I got that job advertisement in front of me, thinking that, okay, what if I change my career completely? That was a pause for me where I thought, okay, do I really want to do that? Or is it something that's looking for someone who has a technical background? Then I again used my network because I knew them internally. It was internal company, right? So I went to them and I asked them, what is that you're looking in this person who applies for this position? Then they said, somebody like you who has really good knowledge in the company itself, that organization, as well as somebody who's keen to learn, somebody who's positive, who has that attitude, who wants to learn, who wants to get forward, who wants to shine helping others, right? That's what they said. And I felt more confident applying for that job, even though in my resume, it was IT support engineer, medical support engineer, junior analyst, like that. But then I was like, okay, it's fine as long as I make sure that I had those roles and responsibilities. So that's when I applied, and I got that job 6 months ago, which is August. That's when I started this new career as business and investment officer. Yeah, that's how it went. That's me here I am right now.
That's great,
Thank you.
Nabina. That's great. Lovely. You've walked us through your career path, and that's really good to know. I literally felt like you're talking about my career journey. It's similar. I can resonate to that. Thank you for sharing. Nick, about yourself, what was the biggest challenge you faced early in your career, and how did you overcome that? And how are you doing with that? If there were any challenges, how are you dealing with that at the moment in your organization or in your career?
That's a great questions, guys. So I'd like to ask you guys a quick questions, because and that's when I'll I'll start my journey, right? Because that'll be more relatable. How many of you are here? Please raise your hands up. Just be honest with yourself, because just being here today itself shows that you are already one step ahead, right? This is Sunday, and you choose to be here so that you want to do something great, right? So no side, just be honest to yourself. Please raise your hands if someone thinks like they will gonna land in their job in another 3 months. Anyone?
Beautiful. That's lovely.
Awesome, great, okay. So initially it was hard for me to get into the IT one. I'll be dead honest so that you can take the good takeaways, right? I was doing odd jobs like Mina mentioned, right? Doing some odd jobs, doing customer service, doing probably 2-3 jobs in a day. And the one thing that I always said to myself is, okay, IT is the first thing that I have invested a lot of time, money, and energy. So I need to get something within it, because in my whole life, like I said, in terms of investment, in terms of time, it's IT, it's the educations that I'm studying. And I need to get something out of it so that I can, move ahead and do the right thing. Yeah, I went to a lot of interviews. I applied to a lot of jobs applications, and the mistake was I was applying probably 10, 20 in a day. I wasn't focusing on the job titles. I was just, I need it. I'll just apply probably 10, 20. Probably there will be a lock, and 1 or 2 persons will reach out to me. But that's not going to work. So start with clarity in your head. What is the title that you really want? What are the responsibilities? What are the requirements that will exactly align that you are looking for, right? So that you are not wasting your energy, and you are actually directing yourself in the right direction. So the first thing is aligning with the requirements and the challenges that you can actually perform. And the second thing is giving yourself permission to be in that position. Imagine like you already got the job, right? So what are the key qualities that a person will look forward to have that capability to hold that position? So give yourself permission. It is really important, guys. If you do not trust yourself, the second person won't trust on you, right? And it's not a joke, right? It's not like, okay, I'm in the room, I'm excited, I'm motivated. The moment you walk out of the room and you don't take any actions, you don't trust yourself, no one's gonna trust you, all right? The first thing, trust in yourself. That's the mistake I did on the very first time. I was like, okay, 10, 20 applications, yeah, someone will hear me, someone will understand me. No one will understand you. And there are, as Mina said, it's a competitive edge. You wake up tomorrow morning, you have got at least 1 million competitions ahead of you, right? So like I said, who raised their hands like to actually land in the job for another 3 months, you gotta be very, very attentive. You gotta have that clarity. You gotta take into actions from today, right? So that's the other thing. And obviously in the interview phase, they asked me a lot of questions. I got rejections every single time. And then I was a bit sad, like, okay, why I did not get selected? I should be selected. I've got a good grades. I've got good understanding of IT things. I've got a good personality. Well, I used to think like that. Okay, and why I didn't get selected? What's wrong with me, right? And then I called them. I followed up them. Hey, look, this day I did the interview. I want to know. I didn't get selected. I want to know, is there anything that I can improve on myself? And they come up, oh, no, look, obviously they're not going to tell you specific, but the answer is, now we will find the right candidate who is actually fit for the job compared to yourself. All right, no problems. Is there anything specific that you can tell me so that I can improve myself? And they will come to you, right? They will understand you. Never forget you are dealing with another human beings, right? And you got to be dead on it through yourself and the next person as well. And she told me pretty much, the HR was one of the lady, and she was so honest with me, saying, all right, Nick, I get your feelings, right? If you want to improve, here are the things. And she told me about a lot of things. The first thing was timing. All right, be there on time. I was late for the interview, right? And the reason for me being late was I was trying to print out the paper for my resume, right? That wasn't required at all. But I was doing overthinking, thought like, okay, if an interviewer asks me for any details, any paperwork, I can hand over, right? So I was a bit late, 5-10 minutes late, but it counts, right? That shows me like I'm not on point, right? And the second thing was about how are you going to present in the room? Are you the persons who will be fit for the role? Are you already prepared from that milliseconds, from the time that you enter the room, okay? So every single step counts, and that was the major learning for me as well. And once I learned in each and every step, like from the interviews, I went to another role, and those mistakes that I have done in the past, I make sure I don't want to repeat it. All right, and I didn't repeat the same mistakes because I was so keen to get the role, right? Not desperate. There's a very difference, right? I was passionate, I was keen from the beginning, and I can't make costly mistakes like previous one. So yeah, I improved myself on each and every steps, passed through the interview, and obviously there were a few follow-up questions, like being in my situation at that time, saying, hey, okay, all right, no worries, we get it, but can you clarify a few things? There were a few concerns from the interviewer side as well, which is really good, okay? Because it's not like just being honest may not help you all the time. There will be follow-up questions as well, and if you understand their curiosity, their concerns, and if you justify, if you explain yourself, again, they will understand. And that's what I did. I said, okay, look, no worries. Here I am. These are my requirements, and this is what I can do as per the job advertisement. Okay, rest is assured on you, because you got your own policies, you got your own procedures, you got your own team, and you want to make sure that the person who is hired for the job will actually perform the duties. Okay, so understand from your point of view and understand from the employer point of view. Once you have that understanding right, you got the whole big picture now. Okay, and you are already one step ahead, because most of the people, what they do is they just think from one side. Okay, I need a job. I'm giving you all the information. I'm very capable as per the responsibilities, right? Do not have only this understanding. Do not limit yourself. And this got to be for real, okay? And you got to communicate clearly. You got to pass that to the next person we are communicating with, and that will help you to get your dream job, okay? And that was the mistake that I did in the beginning. So up on time, make sure you follow up the questions. Even they ask you cross questions, any queries, curiosities, yeah, hold your breath, be honest to yourself, and explain them. That's the process. Doesn't matter whether it's just for a job or it's for entire life. Okay, you got to make sure if there are challenges, you got to be prepared enough to come over that challenges. So yeah, that was the thing.
Thanks, Nick. Thanks for sharing that insight. Yeah. Always, our key takeaway there is like always communicate well, always ask questions, and always try to be on time. Yeah, that's a great takeaway that I've took. For you, Mina, coming back to you, I know you look into different domains and you have a lot of people working under you and they have different kind of skills. So what are the core technical skills that you would be looking for a IT support role in the Australian market? What would be you looking at mostly?
Yeah, awesome. Thank you. I'll kind of twist it a bit as well. So I do look at tech, like, running you're looking for tech jobs. Obviously, you have to have the tech experience, the tech skill set, all that techie stuff. So I look for being up to speed with what's happening now. Like, as I said before, like, you have to be, you can learn, like, I don't know, Windows or Microsoft or all the, I don't know, I'm knows all the techie stuff. I'm not the techie guy, but you just have to be ready now. So if you're like applying for a job, let's just say with Microsoft, and they released an update yesterday, but you apply for a job today, and you don't know anything about that update, don't apply for the job, because the person that really wants the job would have worked out what the update was this morning. So as I said before, stay up to speed all the time. Like, wake up in the morning, and you don't have to go do the research yourself. Ask ChatGPT or ask Claude, what's Microsoft's update today? Find out what it is. Go on itnews.com, read all the updates. People want to know that you're keeping up with the speed, you're keeping up with the industry, you know better than your competitors. As Nick said, like, you're competing with 1 million people. Yeah, that's extreme. Like, it is 1 million though, that's the thing. But you apply for a job, and we see it when we put a job up, or any job I've put out there, we get at least 500 applicants. We can't go through 500 applications. So your technical, like, expertise, your technical knowledge, your technical, like, passion has to come through. But I'll also add to it as well, the technical skills for me are important, but honestly, I also, like, a majority of the time, you're not getting an IT manager or you're not getting the tech boss that's doing the recruitment, especially for entry level. Like, you're not getting the CTO or the IT manager. You're getting maybe the service desk manager. You're getting the recruitment manager. You're getting someone from operations that's screening your resumes. Yeah, but firstly, the bot is screening your resume. So 85% of resumes is ATS. Is that what? Yeah. So you're already getting screened through your ATS. So if your thing doesn't pass ATS, they're not even looking at it. Then the other 85% that pass it, or the 15% that pass, they look at skill sets that are not technical as well. So are you volunteering with something? So I volunteer. I know I don't look like it, but I volunteer for the RFS. So I'm a firefighter. Like, on the side, like if someone calls me, I'll go volunteer to be the fire. That's my way to show that I can work with people, that I understand instructions, I know how to communicate in a difficult... That's not showing that I'm techie. That's showing, he actually can resolve an issue. If something's burning down, he can fix it. Are you a part of like a hobby group? Are you a part of right now everyone's playing paddle, what's it called? Paddle cricket? Paddle whatever, tennis. Yeah. So everyone's playing. Are you going out there and do you have other hobbies? Do you know how to communicate properly? How do you show that you're a great team player without writing, I'm a great team player? Because they won't give you a job if you write that. But how do you show that? Well, I'm a part of a soccer team. I'm sure a lot of you play cricket. I'm a part of a cricket team. I volunteer. I run this youth group. I go do that. So it's not only technical, yeah? You have to understand that when you're applying for entry level especially, and you'll know from all our careers that it's communication, it's customer service, it's relationships, it's teamwork, it's knowledge, it's passion, it's all that stuff. And especially here in Australia, again, I was born here. I've been working for over 20 years now. I've never had to tell people what my skill set is. I've never had to say, yeah, they know I've been this CXO or this operations director, whatever it is, but it's more about the stuff we've done in our lives that help you get the job. And when you only have 2-page resume with your technical skills already all blasted on it because you have to, it's how do you stand out on that resume that shows what type of person you are that's going to join the company. Because I'll give a job to someone. I'm his first job. So that little guy in the back corner, I gave him his first technical job. They sent me the resume. I was the CXO. Again, I'm not technical. So I got 100 resumes for this job. I was filling out 2 people. I think I was placing 2 people, Oms and his friend Suzanne. And I didn't look at the resume. Like I looked at it quickly. I skimmed through it on my phone. I was on my phone. I was having dinner somewhere. I rang him and his passion, his excitement, he told me about his journey, his life. I didn't ask anything about your level 2. Yeah, that was important because you have to do the job. But for me, it was more the skill set that came from his emotional intelligence, his understanding of the technical role. But like, I know it sounds fluffy, but through his heart, like it's just as important as the technical. Like all of us here, we're only here because we know someone that was kind enough to bring us here and refer us. You're not going to get a job just based on qualifications and technical skills. It's based on the person that's inside as well. So just as important. Thank you.
Thanks, Mina. That was really lovely. Just to yourself with that technical skills is really important to get any jobs, not only IT, but having that communication skills and being true to yourself is really important to get any jobs, right? So moving on, I'd like to ask Navina. Navina, I know you've moved roles and you're doing a different role than IT now, but if you can, in a brief way, how does an IT day look like for a person when you were working as an IT person? How does an IT day look like for a person? Can you, for our audience, just share that?
Okay. Thank you. That's a really good question because that's the question I asked my interviewer. Okay, I asked them what's day-to-day looks like because that's very important to know. So now you would go and take this away with you, knowing that, okay, this is how my day would look like if I work as an IT engineer or support officer. So my day would look like, first of all, making sure that I get everything out of my head because it's going to be a busy day. Okay, especially if you're working in MSP, which I worked in MSP first. So then it would be like back-to-back calls. So even if you work from home, you cannot spare some time to eat lunch because it's that busy. I was dealing with doctors, nurses, medical, those managers. But then it used to be like they are very frustrated. People would call you frustrated. They try to fix it themselves. Nowadays, people are smart, so they try to fix it themselves. They try to turn it off and turn it on and then call you. Nowadays, you don't say, turn it off first and then turn it on. They already do it, right? So there is that frustration level that you have to deal with. So if you are somebody who's like backfire them, that's not a good skill that we could have, right? As an IT person, what you would do is you would have that very good skill of being calm and then listening skill. That's very important. You listen to them and then find out what could be the real issue and assure them that it's gonna get resolved. You are somebody, just tell them that you came to the right person. I know what's going on. This is exactly what happened before. Or even if you don't know whether it has happened before or not, just say that, because that will calm them down, okay? And then think about this. If you were in their situation, so being empathetic, right? Knowing where they're coming from. If you are somebody who's trying to boil water and your kettle doesn't work and you call the customer service are there, what you would do? You would be really frustrated because you paid for that, right? And then if it doesn't work to that extent, then you would be so frustrated and you call them, you shout at them. Listening, that person who's listening to you probably wants to say something back to you really bad, but then they calm themselves down, because that's what customer service is. Customer service, you need to have that in your IT role too. So if you come with very disturbed mind, you won't be able to give them back. Then it comes calls like my phone doesn't work or my computer is not turning on. So first thing is always calm them down, and then other issues. So issues would come, you would have to log your request. Every time somebody calls, some people would just do tickets, which is the best way ever, because that's when you don't have to do half of the work, which is logging a request. Then keeping notes. That's another thing. Documentation skills. That's another skill that you can show in your resume. So documenting everything that happens is very important, because it's record keeping, as well as you can use that as a reference when you have similar issue in the future. Then comes making sure that you talk to your team, because you are helping each other out. So whenever I used to have a really difficult issue, what I would do is I will talk to my senior or somebody who works with me. Then we work together to solve it. Right? While solving it, again, it all comes with documentation, documenting that I got help from you, so that shows that you are a team player internally. So your manager knows that this person get along with another one. So my day would look something like this: getting along with my team, making sure that I'm in the right mindset so that I can help others, and then after I fix it, I make sure that I let them know what the issue was. Okay, that's another thing I personally did myself, that I told them what was the issue and what was the resolution for that, so that they know that, okay, this person really knows what she's doing, right? You gotta bring those kind of qualities in yourself, so that next time that person comes to you. That's very important. I see people coming to me still after I changed my career. I get now and then at least 1 or 2 questions a week saying, can you please fix this for me? If it's access, definitely I don't have access to do that, but then anything that I can to help others, I still do. Because it's whenever I can, right? I should not hamper my current job, but then it's something that keep that relationship good. Okay, it's very important, I think. And then at the end, when you finish your job, going home and then doing a little bit of research to help you next day, it's very important, I think. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Navina. That's really lovely of you to share the insights on what does the IT day looks like for an IT personnel, and then understand that record keeping is one of the key thing that you need to do. Understanding and listening to your stakeholders calmly is another thing that we should be doing. From there, I would like to move on to Nick for answering a question. Like, they have talked about soft skills. They have talked about being being calm and helping customers and all that. But for someone who is confused to get into the IT path, like IT career, which path should I take? What would be your suggestions, or what advice would you give to someone who is just starting to build a career in IT? There are multiple paths, right? So what would be your suggestions to them?
So starting, right? That's what we're talking about. So you got to understand first what you are passionate about, because at the end of the day, let's make it very simple. It's all about you, right? You want something, right? What is that thing? What are you passionate about? What is your strong point? Where is your goal in 2 to 3 years, or bigger 10 years, right? So you need to understand those things. Okay, if you don't know anything of those questions, right? If you don't have clarity on those things, that's okay as well, right? So if you don't know, then you can't start anything. When I say anything, start with any roles, right? Go with junior IT support, go with desktop engineer, even you can go with network engineer. But It depends because every single title comes with the dedications, the commitments, the technical understanding that you're gonna bring with you, right? Even if you're gonna, if someone from non-IT background says, okay, I want to be a network engineer, is it possible? Completely, it's possible. But like, how long will it take? Well, it depends on you. How much work you want to do in a day, right? You want to spend 10 hours? Yeah, probably another 4 months, right? How much you want to spend? You want to spend 10 minutes a day? No worries, it will take 10 years, right? Or even after 10 years, no one knows what's going to happen. If you're spending just 10 minutes today, well, you get distracted tomorrow. You don't have that mindset. You don't have that dedications. You got to be there to take the actions to get the result. So this is pretty basic. Whatever input you give, how you're processing it, that's how the result will be, right? So like I said, if someone is more aligned to networking, yeah, networking roles will be there. Junior network engineer, senior network engineer, network manager, and could be CTO, understanding the whole infrastructure, whole networking. If someone wants to go in the cyber space, starting at junior cyber support or cyber manager, senior cyber security engineer, there are heaps of positions. You can actually create your positions as well. But like I said, being in the entry position, it could be confusing. Obviously, not having that overall understanding of, okay, what this role does and where it could lead in the future, right? So like I said, give yourself some time, assess yourself, what's your strength, what's your weakness, where you want to be. And if you don't have any of those answers, like I said, I'm repeating myself, start anywhere. You can start anywhere. Start with the junior roles if you are not confident enough to have those technical skills, right? Yeah, that'll be it.
Thanks, Nick. Thank you so much for that. Moving on to Nabina again, about soft skills, right? Like I want to dig deep into the soft skills because you said you moved to the next role was because of your soft skills, your communication skills and all that. So what should we focus on? Like, does technical skill, what if you scale it, like even a scale of like 100, where does technical skill sit and where does your soft skill sit? Like if you weigh it, like is it 50%, 50-50, is it 60-70, or 60-40, or where does it sit? Can you please give an insight on that one?
Okay, thank you, Saurabh. And just want to clarify something. So you mean for my new role, how much I needed my technical skills and soft skills?
Now for any role, like for
Okay.
IT role, even like when you start your career in IT, let's talk about IT. Like for an IT support role, how much do you think is a technical versus your behavioral skills or your communication skills?
Okay, I think that's very important to analyze where your technical skills sit and how much or where you rate your soft skills or behavioral skills. So for my first job, I would say I had 50-50. So that's when I would bring my 50-50 in there. But then for the second job where I got interviewed for my government sector, that's where I brought 80% of technical skills, but then that 20% was very strong for my soft skills. Because I want to relate something with Nick, because he went late for his job. For my second job, I actually went 20 minutes late. And still I got that job. You know how? Because I told them what happened, and also called them that I was running late. I actually went to a different location. How silly of me, right? But then if you explain it, if you be honest, definitely that was possible that they would consider you. And I was the last applicant. They could just go back, right? They could just finish the interview timing there. But then they waited for me, and when I went, I apologized, but I thanked them for their patience for waiting for me. And then what happened was I had to answer those questions. Half was technical, half was more behavioral kind of questions, like difficult situation, difficult customer. And then technical in sense, they were like, what is important to your offboarding or onboarding, right? Those kind of questions. And then what would you do if there's no Wi-Fi? Or there's no Wi-Fi connection or no internet at all. What would you do in that kind of situation, kind of questions? Then comes this position, which is my current one, which is 6 months ago, I had to sit an interview. Then that was more 80% and 20% technical, because I need to understand what they're wanting. What do they want in me? That's how I present myself. Even though you feel like, okay, I'm 100% ready for my technical questions, but then what about my soft skills? In their job advertisement, go and check what they really focusing on, right? Are they talking about problem-solving skills? Problem-solving is something that you can bring from technical side, right? As well as your soft skills. Because you can have that difficult customer, did you solve that problem? Or if you had a really difficult issue, how would you solve that? So problem solving comes from both sides. So there are other things like technical skills, hardcore skills, I would say probably Windows knowledge, right? Do you have Windows knowledge, or you also have iOS knowledge? So you would ask that kind of questions to yourself, because that's what exactly they will put in your job roles and responsibilities. But it's roles and responsibilities does not include everything that your manager or whoever that company or organization who's trying to hire you would put in there, because it's limited. Sometimes they put through position description separately. Click on that. You know, we are so in a hurry that we just quick apply and then finish it off. No, go inside position description, change your roles and responsibilities according to what they are needing you. Is there something else that you forgot to put in your resume because you did not focus on that when you were applying other jobs? Maybe this one, which was my current role, they were looking for someone who could communicate confidently with any stakeholders, no matter internal, external, outside people, let's say just community or event, right, project. Everybody has done project in their life. Haven't you scheduled or haven't you did any birthday events, right? That could be a project. Use that. That was exactly what tips I got from my interviewer. Okay, when I went to just ask them what you're looking in this position, they told me that. And I got my confidence there, right? I got my confidence, I applied, and then while in interview, I replied as like that too. I haven't handled any projects in terms of this role, but then I have handled, software upgrade role project, that project. Something small, you have to reflect. You have to reflect on yourself. What have I done? And then try to compare, is that what they're needing? Try to align both sides. Your technical side, are they needing that technical side, or they are trying to focus more on soft skill? Okay, because that's how the question's gonna be in your interview. So I think that is very important. But for this last role, definitely 20% technical and 80% was just soft skills. That's how I landed this job. Thank you.
Thank you, Navina. So you got it. Soft skill is really important for any role. Like I would say, if it's a technical role or even it's something that you're looking for in your career, that would really add value to your profile, to your career pathway. Now, I'd like to steer a little bit towards hiring. I think that we are a bit interested on that one as well. I'd like to hear from Meena on what are the common mistakes that IT graduates make during interviews? Like, we've done numerous interviews. For an IT graduates, when they come in for an interview, what are the common mistakes that you see, and then what suggestions would you like to give to the audience when they're going for an interview?
First thing's being late, so both these guys want to know what job. No, but try not to be late. Look, as we've been saying in all our kind of conversations, it's very competitive. Yeah, so there's a lot of jobs out there, but there's a lot of people applying for the job. So you want to make sure. So if I was applying, as people apply for me, as I said on before in the other job, I don't look for the technicals, the writing stuff. You've already passed the resume now. Okay, let's just say you've applied for the job. Your resume is one. Yeah, wow, you're going to go meet the recruiter now or the manager. So what's the impression you're going to give? The first impression is so important, I'm not saying you have to wear a suit to every interview. You don't have to wear a dress or a really corporate outfit, but how do you come in? Are you bubbly? Are you nice? Are you accommodating? There was a gentleman over there behind you, sorry, the muscly one. Oh, you're both muscly, but the bigger one. No, he's not bigger. But he came in before and he asked us, do you need any help? Do you need any help setting up? Do you need any help, with the day? He's coming to an event, I get it, he's a attendee, but those type of things is what sticks with people that are hiring. Oh, he's helpful, or he's got the right attitude, he's got the right skill set, he's got a good personality. I want to work with people, hiring managers or managers that run big organizations or teams. They want to work with people that fit their culture. Culture here is so, and I'm not talking about culture where you're from or how you're raised or what you eat. It's the culture of the workplace. Everyone talks about customer experience and giving the great customer experience, but the other part is employee experience. So how are you going to be a great fit to our employee experience? How are you going to be a great fit to our culture? So like the way you communicate, the way you talk to people, the confidence. I'm the type of person, and I would know even when we meet with customers or people now, I don't like arrogant people. Like I don't like people that come in and like I deserve to get this job because I don't know, I deserve it. I like people that show like, you know, emotional intelligence. We spoke about it before. It's a big thing here, like in Australia, that you have to, and anywhere, but like you have to show that you understand other human beings. You know, you have to, with all this automation and this tech and ChatGPT and Claude, and I love all that tech. I'm not saying I don't. I love it all because it makes my life easy. But emotional intelligence is so important, how you communicate as a human being. And that's how you'll get a job. Like, I'll never give a job, and this is like my hand on my heart, like I'll never give a job based on technical skill set first, unless you're like a senior engineer or you're something that you have to make an app for like a hospital that makes medical, you know, a specified role. But you guys aren't going for those specified roles now. Those roles are 5 years away, 5-6 years. It's how you get these first roles at the beginning. And honestly, like it's all about your personality and your skill set and your soft skills and emotional intelligence, how you communicate with people. Are you sitting nicely? Are you talking nicely? Do you have respect? I call it 1990s customer service. So I was only a baby in the 90s. I'm not that old. But back in the 90s here or in the US or the UK, it was all about making like people happy. It was about making your customer happy, making your employees happy, making your boss happy, making your workplace happy. Then it went into this phase where everyone was just focusing on work and forgot about experiences and EX and all that. And then it's coming back now because people want to work with other people and workplaces that are nice. Like I work with at IT together, we run the business, but we have a nice culture. Like we go out for lunch with Sarav, you know, we meet him in the city, we go do work for a few hours, we work at night, but anytime we're communicating or like with other people, we're just nice people to be around. Like I hope I am, but you know, says I am. But you want to be, like you're giving first impressions and, you know, they want to give you guys a job that you're not going to make my job harder. If you have those skill sets or those soft skills or personality that I know you're going to come in and cause trouble for me, like I'm talking about like human resource trouble or just be I'll say a pest in a way. Like if you're going to do that for me, I'm not going to give you the job. Like be a nice person, have a good heart, all that stuff is how you get a job. Then the skills, soft skills, technical skills, all that stuff builds on. But once you meet those people, when you have the interview, it's always like first impressions first. How you come in, are you confident, are you respectful, are you nice? You're not touching your phone, like never even have your phone around, like on your table, never. Like, because we know you're distracted already, but that's reality. Like, don't have your phone, like, come in clean, never come late, as we said, but if there's a reason, be honest about it. Good lesson, and just be a good person. Everyone wants to work with good people. They don't want to work with annoying, bad people. So, like, it's simple like that, but just be an honest person, and that's the soft skills, and that's when I said before, like, when you put yourself, you guys have all come from overseas, you've done these courses with Click, you're doing the other stuff, but how do you understand like how it is to work at? I'll use I don't know, I won't give a name, but like a bank. Like if you're going for a bank, how do you know that culture or the experience they're going to have if you don't go do other things outside of studying and working? Like, you know, put yourself out there, go to the gym, go to a fitness class, like go to a cricket thing, go to an event, go do some youth work, do some charity. I know this stuff might sound like, oh no, it's a waste of my time, but if you don't do that, you won't know how to communicate when you start the job. It will just be like, okay, I got a job and I've done this course at Click, and then now I have all my technical qualifications, but what do we do now? Oh yeah, we have a sports day next Friday. Do you know how to play basketball? Oh no, I don't know how to play basketball. But like put yourself out there so you know how to do things too. I know it might sound basic, but it's very important to like learn more things so you're comfortable, you know. Yeah, I hope that answered the question.
Thanks.
I can blabber on, guys.
That's lovely. Coming back to Nick. Nick, how important is to have a mentor or a mentorship in anyone's career? Like, how important is that? To have someone or a team or an organization or anyone in your life to get into any career pathway in anyone's life? Can you share that?
Yeah, that's a very important questions, guys. I think that's the topic I'm having conversations with them now just before this event happened, right? It's really important. If I look back, like probably 4 years back in my life as well, that's the one advice that I will give to myself. Because at that time, I was doing all by myself, okay? I wasn't even talking with my friends. I wasn't talking with my families. I wasn't talking with any of my mentors. I was burning out. Oh yeah, I've applied for 10 roles. My life, I'm giving my 100%. Nothing is happening. Oh God, what's happening? I mean, are you not around? Or you know what? I was burning out, and at some point, I was blaming other people as well. All right. I mean, there's no problems with them. It's just myself. So networking is very important. From point A to point B, right? If you have to go to point B, if you have got the right people around, it will take a very short period of time, right? And it's for real. It's a very practical thing. If you apply this in your life, you will see the result. You will take very less time, and then you'll go with the fun, right? You will have a fun. You will learn throughout the process because your mentor is there, your whole network is there. They have been through the steps, and they are actually guiding you. Hey, walk this way. If you walk this way, go 100 kilometers, like 20, not 20, that will be far. For example, 5 kilometers straight, turn left, turn right. There will be a traffic light. Wait in the red signal. As soon as there is green, you run and grab that thing. That will be the award for you. You got the guidelines. Okay, do you want to do it? Nah, probably that guy is bluffing. See, come back to you again. You got the whole blue map, like mind map of getting that target, and you did not apply it, right? So that's a very big difference. Sometimes you got to pivot in your life. Okay, so far up to this point, I never had one mentor in my life, so that I was probably struggling. Now, you hear this, you acknowledge this, you decide by your own judgment, right? Now you need mentor. Now you need right circles. Even look at this room, right? The energy is so high up. That's why I said in the very beginning, it's Sunday, all right? You can have your one fun. You can be at park. You can go hang around, have some beers with your friends. Why you choose to be here? Because enough is enough. Now you want to do the right thing in your life, right? You want an immediate action, and you want to get the result out of it. So networking, so you hear it from Mina, you hear it from her, you heard from himself as well, you from myself. You look around people, all right? Have a chat with your friends. Even in this event, guys, I want you all to have a chat with every single person in this room. This is not a big crowd, probably 50, but quality crowd, okay? Today, let's make this happen. If you're not doing it today, you're not gonna go out there trying to win a person who is already in there for like 20 years, 10 years. You can't bluff. There are no shortcuts, all right? You can bluff it off. And even getting a job should not be your final goal, all right? Understanding the process, having fun throughout the process, living the process, right? Having that human connection. And then you will be able to grow yourself, okay? Because if you don't do that, if you, let's say, oh yeah, I've got my relos, he's the hiring manager, yeah, can you please hire me? Yeah, you got hired. What happens then, right? You got a probation period. You can't bluff every single time, right? And the main thing is you want to grow yourself as well. You don't want to be stuck in a position for like 10, 20 years. Otherwise, you're limiting yourself, right? So understand, you got to go through a long journey. You want to have a group of people to whom you can have fun, you can learn, you can share, you can experience it, right? And then even let's say out of 100 will be a quite easy number. Out of 1,000, if one person make it to the top without having any mentors, that shouldn't be a case. But even if it does that, the amount of traumas, the amount of sufferings, the amount of injustice he will carry himself, he won't have that point of balance in his life, okay? You don't have to suffer. You don't have to be on that low state of mind, okay? Everyone here is to help you, to support you, okay? Start within yourself, trust yourself, trust the person next to you, trust the room around, okay? That's a human connection. And together, it will be much easier to get a job done, okay? Because at the end of the day, we're trying to achieve the same thing. Our journeys could be different, our path could be different, but hey, the long-term goal is pretty much the same thing. So I'm telling you guys today, do not leave out of this building without connecting to every single person in the room. When I say every single person, exactly every single person. Get the connections of everyone, email address, share your phone numbers, have a conversation. Hey, there are a few people who wants to get land in the job like within the next 3 months, all right? And if you are the one like waiting for 1 year, probably reach out to them saying, hey, you said this thing, what happened? How did it go? What was the learnings, right? And that's how you have already developed a sense of communication, a sense of purpose, and a sense of obligation as well, right? It's not that always, I want to get this, I want to get this, I want to grab this. But you got to be go-giver as well, right? Have that obligations to help others so that the things will come to you, right? So that's why a circle of people is really important. Or networking is really important. If you want to go far, have a team, have the right people with the right mindset, with the right attitude, and you will get the result. But if you have got very, easy stuff, funny stuff, nah, all I need is just this job, okay? Once I get it, yeah, I'll be happy, everyone will be clapping. Not going to happen, okay? So it's very critical, especially in today's age, because you can't catch up every single thing. Things are moving fast, just in a blink of eyes. You wake up tomorrow morning, and the skills that you have learned is outdated, right? You can't use it anymore, because as he said, tomorrow there will be another update. Every single company has got their own processes, one procedures, their unique, policies. If you are jumping from one company to another company, you need to understand the whole thing, being on the top, all right? So think critically, all right? Have the right people around, have a good network around, and keep it growing, all right? It's not like, okay, I've got 10 people around, I should stop now, okay? Never do it, all right? Networking is always ongoing process, and don't forget, your network is your net worth, all right? So I think it's really critical.
Thanks, Nick. Thanks for sharing that insight. Really well said. Networking is your net worth, right? That's the key. Coming back to Navina, I'd like to get some your own personal experience on, like, let's get the elephant out of the room. Is PR really important, or is that your PR important to get that job in the Australian market today, or from your own experience?
Because it might not be the case for everybody, especially if you look at federal government kind of roles. You need that citizenship for the clearance, right? But then there are 99% of the jobs in the market which does not need PR. But then you have to sell yourself that that's your intention, right? If you put it forward, if you be honest, if you just show it to them that your intention is getting that PR, because everybody, I wouldn't say everybody, because there would be somebody who thinks different than me, but then most of us is always already thinking about that or planning about that, right? So one of the questions that I was asked in my government sector interview was, do you have citizenship or permanent residency? And I paused. I was like, no. But I didn't let them talk after me. I was like, no, but that's my plan. That's my 2 months thinking that I would get that PR. I have already finished my PY. I have done everything that I can, and I'm already working in IT field. So that's where I show that I am capable of getting it, even though it's on those people in Home Affairs that they decide who to give, or it's more like a lottery for us. But then I got my first job in TR. So I was a temporary resident, and then I got my government sector job in TR too. So I got my PR only recently. So that was all because I was working in IT. Okay, I studied IT, and then I made it possible just by working in IT. That's what I would like to say, because at first everybody doubt themselves. Do I get this job or not? Because I don't have this, what they have mentioned there. Still apply. And then once you get into interview, because you have to go through that process. One, you have to go through that ATS, that system that checks your resume, and then make sure that you crack into, you showcase your skills, your personality in that resume, so that you get into interview. Interview is the last phase where it takes a lot of things to get there, right? Once you get to interview, that's when you make sure that you're landing that job. That's where you can sell yourself. Be presentable, dress for success. If you have heard it, like Hello Success, there's another company who teaches you how to dress or lets you hire the dress, because overdressing is of course better than underdressing. So those kind of things. Before you walk inside, make sure that you have that mindset. You are being positive, you are being presentable, you are not being that arrogant person who Meena hates, by the way. So be the other person who's really kind, who's, being present. Don't use your phone while you're talking to somebody, especially in job kind of, where you want something from there. make sure that what they need, you are fulfilling that, right? So if you have all of these qualities, PR is something small, and you already have that intention of getting it. That's all they want to hear, that you're going to be there long term, you're going to be in Australia, and you're going to be their future IT person. Okay, I think that's what you need, that perception. Yeah.
Thank you, Navina. That's a good insight of looking at it as well. Yeah, we coming from an international country and then looking for a job, looking for our living here. Yeah, that's one PR, permanent residency, is a key part for that. But having said that, don't only strive for that. At least strive for success, strive for knowledge, and then PR will eventually happen. But it's not that. I'm sharing from my side, my story as well. Like, I didn't have my PR when I got my first job as well. So yes, it is important in some sectors, like getting a government job or a federal job or even a council job, I used to think. Then now looking from us as well, like, don't strive for, like, I know we want it, but looking from an international student's perspective, strive for the knowledge. Look for the knowledge. Like, even if you don't get the knowledge, maybe, who knows, like, if you have to go back to your own country or go back anywhere in the world, with that knowledge, with that passion, with that attitude, you can land the job anywhere in the world. So think about that. Yeah. Coming back to Meena now, I would like to get any final advice or anything that you would like to share with the team, and then we'll start with the Q&A with the audience.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you. Look, as you can tell from all of us, it's Sunday morning. We're here because we want to be here to help you guys, and we're lucky to be in a country like this. I was born here, so I'm luckier. But we're all lucky because people want to come here. It's a beautiful country. I'm raising my kids here. We are, we're fortunate. So you have endless opportunities here. Like, if you have that, what we're all saying the same thing. Like, if you have the good heart, that passion, that love to succeed, and you don't have to be a millionaire, guys. Like, you don't have to reach too far from the stars. Yeah, as Nick said, you got to have the goal. We were talking about it in the morning. You have to have goals. You have to track your goals. You have to set daily tasks, or then you just fluff around through life. But you have an opportunity to, like, make a difference to yourself, like, make a difference to the people that you care about. And in my life, I kind of put myself in this pathway where, like, I want to leave a legacy for my kids. I worked for 20 years. I worked really hard. My first job, I was, as I said, Macca's, and then, when I finished school, I was on the phone. I was on a call center at night. I was in year 12 here, and I was working 6 p.m. to midnight, and then going back to school in the morning. And you have to do what you have to do, like, to get ahead. You got to push yourself, and all these things we're talking about. From your resume has to be perfect. Like, you have to have an online portfolio. I don't know. Recently, I've been pushing people to do online portfolios about projects you might have been on, or apps you might have worked on, or all this stuff. Like, break through the interview. Then when you get the interview, how do you present yourself? Like, it's all about, like, who you want to be, the person you want to be known for, and, like, how do you want to, like, leave your legacy when you pass on eventually. Like, we don't want to think about that now, but what are the steps you're doing now in your 20s and 30s is when you can do it. That's when you have the energy, that's when you have the passion, and that's when you want to look back and say, okay, this is what I did, and this is what I'm doing for my family. I'm sure eventually most of you want to have families if you don't have one yet, but what are you doing to, like, make sure later on when your kids, or I use my kids a lot, but, like, how do I make sure in 20 years when my son and my daughter, it's going to be harder for them, yeah? So, yeah, I don't want to put that unnecessary pressure on myself where I'm trying to set up their life, but the reality is you have to be so successful in this world. You have to be better than the guy next to you. It's not the Hunger Games, so we're not going to take him out, but, like, push yourself to be the best you can be every day. Nick said it, being here on a Sunday, don't be lazy. Have fun. You still have to have a holistically happy life, but really, like, push yourself every day to be the better version of yourself than you were yesterday. So we're here, like, I'm here for the next few hours, so I'm happy to have chats and talk more, but really, like, we're partnering up with Click with this stuff, and we're happy to be here because we genuinely have a passion to help people succeed, and we want to see all of you succeed. So good luck with everything, and we'll chat during the day.
Thanks, Nick. Thank you so much. Now Q&A, so if you have any questions, please. Yep. Please introduce yourselves when you ask the question.
Hi everyone, I'm Saman Raut and I'm an international student and I've just come 2 months ago in Australia. So I just have two questions actually. First one for Navina ma'am. right? So you've been speaking about soft skill and all, and I just want to start with a story, like an incident actually that happened early in the morning today. I was here and we were grabbing coffee, and then Meena sir came in and we shook hand and he introduced himself. He's such an amazing person right now. So he introduced himself, and what happened was we've been hearing about him for a long time from Om sir. And I suddenly froze actually because I saw him in front of me and I froze. And I just came in 2 months ago and it was very overwhelming for me. So how do you deal with that situation?
Okay. Thank you. It's a very good question because that idol shock, you hear about somebody and then you just meet them in person, and that we have to speak the right words. I think that's what kicks in there, right? I have this all the time. So it's about the experience, I guess, because one, you're thinking about, I'm just here, just been 2 months, but then take it as a positive side. You're just here for 2 months. You're already doing so great. You're coming here on Sundays, utilizing your off time. Nobody, I would say almost 99% of the time, people won't do that, right? So you're already doing better than everybody else. But the thing comes, be yourself, right? One, you already idolize him and you know how great he is, and you want to make that good impression, isn't it, right? So that's what keeps you from, being that awkward kind of person. You don't want to make a bad impression. You want to impress him. So that's when I would try to be what I am, because what I am is good. Everybody, what you are is good. It's just that sometimes we won't be able to present ourselves as what our expectation is. So that's when lower your expectation, just be yourself and show them who you are genuinely and who you are just being yourself, and then see that person likes you or not. If they don't like you, it's okay, because they would have their own preference too, right? But being yourself, showing that how genuinely you care, and then how good you feel about meeting them, showing them that, and just bringing in words. It does not have to be perfect English, because I would think like, oh, I'm making grammatical mistakes, I'm getting that in my back of my mind. But that's fine, because he's not judging you on the basis of English. He's not judging you on the basis of what you're looking like. He's judging you on the basis of how knowledgeable you are, or how good as a person you are, right? So I think that's where I keep telling myself, it's never you are great and then you are confident at first. It takes time. It's all the process. So one, you experience this. Second time you experience, you feel more at ease, right? Then third time, you shine there. You are at your best. So it's all the process. I am still scared whenever I have to go to our general manager to help him. I was like, oh, why me, right? You think that at the back of your mind, but you don't say it loud, okay? Don't do that. But then you think, and then you go there. And then before you walk in, just, again, be at your best, right? Think at your best, and then you introduce yourself like you just did. So you introduce to that person, be confident, and that person would think, you wouldn't know that until next time you meet them, you feel like, oh, you were so confident when you first met me, and you feel like, no, I wasn't. I was trying, my best to not look like I'm about to die there, right? You will feel like that. So I think that's what in my experience, I was never confident like this. I would say that I had some kind of leadership skills, because I would make children, like my friends, come after me like this. But then I was never confident in front of people who I think are really great, okay? That's when you just push yourself a little bit from the back and say that it's okay, they're not here to judge me, they want me at my best too. So it's same thinking that you're thinking, they would think that too. It's like Mina's like in his mind, oh, who's this guy, I'm so scared. You never know, right? And he would be like, okay, I need to be at my best because I am this person. So what you think as yourself, you never know what other person is feeling. They might be going through same, and that's most of the case. It's exactly that, okay? Just think that, and what you're doing as a really new migrant, just been 2 months, you're doing great. Just remind yourself back and back, okay? That's someone, because I'm still proud of what I did. I remind myself that every time, and I'd be so grateful everyone who helped me on the way. I did not get any mentor as, okay, I would mentee you, or I would be your mentor, but then everybody you meet there who helped you are your mentors. So linking back to what Nick said, take all the help. Don't be shy to ask for help. Introduce yourself. You never know what he could offer you, right? He could help you with your Hello Success thing. You never know what they have to offer you. It could be something, nice to say, which would boost you for the next 2 years maybe, right? So what you do, just think what you're feeling, he's feeling the same. And then bring that confidence in, I guess. Yeah. I hope that I answered your question.
Yeah. Thank you.
I'll just be quick. I'll just add something to that too. Firstly, thank you for your kind words, and good on you for being here today. 2 things quickly. I'm very nervous now, so like I hate public speaking. So and I hate being in group. I love talking one-on-one, but so like as Nabina said, you never know how someone's feeling. Like I get really nervous. Like ever since I was a kid, like I don't really like it. But everyone has their little challenges, and you just have to overcome them as slowly as you can. But something that I found helped me very early on in my career when I had to do a lot of talks or coaching, I used to record myself like on the video. So I'd set up the tripod, or because you don't know how you look when you're. I don't know how I look now. I might look like a fish. I don't know. But, I don't know. But like when I was first starting, I used to coach a lot of people, and then like my manager at one time said, "Oh, record yourself, and then you can see how you're talking. You can see what you're doing with your hands. You can see your eye contact, and then watch the video." And then say, oh, okay, I don't like how I kept looking away. I don't like how I closed my eyes. I don't like how I had my arms shrugged. You don't know. So record yourself, and then every time try to get better at something. Record yourself, put it in Claude or ChatGPT, ask itself like, hey, what am I doing wrong in my video? It'll coach you on that as well. But slowly learn different skills on how you can acknowledge your problem, as you said, like acknowledge I get nervous and I get shy, and then how do you slowly like do things and fix it slowly, But everyone has, as Nabina said, everyone has their little challenges. Someone like me, I've been in the industry for 20 years. I've dealt with like massive corporate CEOs, everything, but I still get nervous, I still get shy. But you got to believe in yourself, and slowly like you'll get better every day and push yourself to be the best you can be. So good on you.
My second question is for Meena sir, obviously. As we are students, we are here, many of us are students. I just want to ask you, like we've heard their perspective about how to build a career in IT. I just want to ask you, what do you suggest to students who are new in Australia and want to build a career in IT?
Look, I believe, and I think I touched on it before, and I haven't had a career where I've had to start entry level in IT, because I did my entry level just basic call center, like customer service work. But I think it's good to understand, and I think Nick touched on it a bit, and Navina as well, that your career that you're going to be in 5 years is not what you're starting now. And I think even for Saraf, his first job wouldn't have been in the job he's in now. He had to start entry level. Like it's simple to I think you have to understand and acknowledge that, they say, I don't know if it's in a song or something, but I think it is a song actually. Like you got to start on the bottom to get to the top, or maybe that's jail. I don't know. But you have to start somewhere. You got to start like entry level job to get to like 5 years like engineer role or a 5-year network engineer. It's not going to come overnight like that. You're not going to wake up and get it. So I think to start, you have the right technical skill sets, and you keep learning every day. Today, again, you have to put away an hour aside every day and learn something different, because as we said the whole day, it changes, and they say every 30 days here in tech, like there's something new. So like you might like learn how to do it. So you have to be ahead of that game. So you got technical, you got soft skills, work on your soft skills. And then I think to start, you have to have like, I used to see, like I think it was even on maybe, but I used to see resumes like Coles or Kmart, or like it still shows that you're doing customer service while you're looking for a job. But I think to get that first tech job or IT job, you have to go entry level. So level 1, that's how like a lot of the guys like and Suzanne and all his friends, they all started level 1 MSP, as Navina was saying. MSP, so managed service providers, that's what an MSP is. That's what we're a MSP. They're usually level 1. Level 1, then you go into level 2, level 3, but try to get those level 1 jobs and aim for those first. Also, when you apply for jobs, they say when you apply within the first 24 hours, that's your higher chance of getting the job. Because a lot of people in their mind, and I used to think the same thing, oh, I'll wait 3 days, I don't want to look like I'm desperate for a job. No, it's actually the opposite. The ones that apply within the 24 hours, they will not look at resumes that come in after 3 days. So they'll leave the job up there, because what companies also do, they put jobs up there to make themselves look bigger and busier, but they don't have the job. So like they'll fill it within 24 hours or 30. They don't want to wait 5 days. If you need a level 1, you need it next week or the week after. So apply within 24 hours, apply for level 1 jobs. There's heaps online. Do your portfolio. I know this is like a new thing. I don't know if you guys have ever had a portfolio, but even my brother-in-law now, he's a industrial designer, so he makes like tables and chairs and stuff. And the only way he can get a job right now is because the market's different, is to have an online portfolio. So I'm just building him one. I don't know where he is. Hopefully he does it today. But like have that on. It doesn't have to be major. Just to say, here you are. Like this is what you've done. These are the few things you've worked on. Oh, look, I played around with this app a bit. I built this presentation. Have that little thing. Your resume has to look like perfect. No pictures. I don't know if you guys all have pictures. I don't know if you guys say the same things like click. Yeah, no picture. Like I know it's cute and like you want to show like your outfit, but no picture. Don't put your picture on. 2 pages maximum 2 pages. As we said, ATS gets rid of anything over 2 pages automatically, and entry level. And then in 5 years' time, after you get the entry level, as Nabina did in her career, and Nick would have been the same. Like she got the job, she transferred into this job, now she's doing another job. But don't I used that word before, arrogant. Like don't try to get that $120,000, $100,000, $90,000. Get the 60, 70, whatever. Like that's where you need to start. That's the reality of it. And then over time here and like in any IT or job, you get your increases over the years, and then you get, if you're a good worker, you go level 2, level 3, engineer, technical, whatever, designer, all that stuff. But start entry level, because you can do it. And to do entry level, you have to have the custom experience, the soft skills, all that stuff, as well as the technical knowledge as well.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Adhikar Chaudhary, and it's been just 1 month and 8 days in Australia. So I was a senior software QA engineer in the Nepal with a 6 year of experience. I came in Australia with a lots of the hope, and I'm confused to should I start in the QA field or the IT support. I'm just confused. I need an answer from anyone can answer.
Yeah, you want to go next?
Do I start with the IT support or should I back to the old journey as a QA engineer?
Right, okay. So we get to the facts. 2 options you get. Should I start with IT support engineer or go with the same role that you have got experience back in Nepal, right? So the first thing is, what's your priority? Let's talk through, right? Let's try to break it down. Let's go to that deeper role so that we can get the clarity out of it. Walk me through. What's your priority? IT support engineer or the role? What's your priority?
Software QA engineer is my priority.
Okay, so if that's your priority, what's stopping you to get that role? I'll go for it. Let's walk through. No one is judging here, like I said. Let's walk it through, because this is the conversations you're going to have with yourself, right? And then you get the clarity, and then you take the action, and then you make it happen. Okay, so what's stopping you to be in that role?
So I think my CV is not being shortlisted. I think it's the ATS score is low. I think that might be the reason.
Okay, great. Look, if that's the thing, let's sort it out first, right? Because that's the nearest challenge that you can see. Your CV is not sorted out, and probably you got to find the people, the company that actually looking for the similar role like yourself, right? So let's get this sorted. Either you can do it by yourself, right? If not, then you can find a mentor or the people in LinkedIn or even in the events like this one. Okay, reach out to them, say, hey, look, I stand here on this point and this is my problem. I'm trying to brainstorm the ideas. I'm trying to brainstorm my CV, and then so that I could be the ideal candidate for this role, right? Can you help me with this? Go for it. Do it today. Message probably 10 people. Connect them in the LinkedIn or any events, right? Register for the events today right after today, right? Because every time I say this, I feel like you got to take massive and immediate actions, you know what I mean? Because if you take, let's say, just 2 days to connect with 10 of the people, right, you'll get the response on the third day. Even if not, right, do not fall in love with the result. Okay, 10 people, reach out to them, I could not get help. No problems, right? All right, reach out to more people, you know what I mean? Reach out to more people, trying to, solidify your resume. Apply to the some of the roles that is already about it, and that's how you get the feelings, you know what I mean, where you stand. Okay, I applied for this role for a couple of days, and then within the third day I get the response, I did not get selected. Okay, it's crystal clear now that the CV that I have applied is not working. I got to improve it. All right, so trial and test, reach out to people. So it's always about finding the solutions towards the problem, you know what I mean? And that was the priority. Remember, you got thousands of options because we started with the priority, right? So you got the other options left as well. In the meantime, right, your priority option 2 is IT support engineer. That will be like entry role. So I will suggest to go to priority 2 only if you feel like, okay, look, priority number 1 isn't working for me because it's not maybe just the CV, it's just probably me trying to understand the culture, trying to understand the company. Probably company may not give me those facilities, those opportunities just because there are a lot of things that I need to work on and probably I need some time to do one. All right, so go with the entry level. Nothing bad with entry level because that will be the first step for you. You have already been in the track, all right? Once you are in the team within a company, you got the first lead, okay? Work there for like probably 2 months, 3 months. And trust me, if you have got skills, if you have got that things that you can put it on the table, right? You will sign, right? They will know you. And then probably reach out to the teams because it won't be hard for you to go into the entry level, right? Because you already been there. You know the basic stuff. You know the technical stuff. It just the difference is the location and the people and the company structure that's a bit different than Nepal, right? So there are a lot of options for you, right? All you have to do is take the first step, right? Go work on your priority first. At the same side, work on your priority second as well. So only the difference will be time and energy that you're gonna put between 1 and 2. Give your probably 90% of time on priority 1. Give your 10% on priority 2. So you're taking both at a time. You know what I mean? And there's nothing wrong with that because you gotta do whatever will work for you, right? And like I said, even if you get the entry level and you will get exposure to the environment, you'll get exposure to the team, to the hierarchy, to the processes, to the procedures, and probably the inbuilt, software team inside. And then there where you can get the opportunity to say, hey, look, I've done this one in the past, right? And is there any opportunity that I can scale myself, right? And as C mentioned in between, right, documentation is key because every time we feel like, okay, I'm capable of that, I can do this, but the next person may not know about this, right? So communication is very, very key, right? So document it, say, hey, look, I've done this much project, this much achievement, this much outcome, and I've been there in this company for 1 month, 2 months, and I was able to learn this much about this company, and I feel like I can deliver this much in your company. All right, can I get a shot, right? And then why not? I mean, go for it, right? If you have that trust within yourself, why not? So it doesn't even take more than 6 months for you to get there, right? If you do the right things. And like I said, you don't have to suffer by yourself. You don't have to be there just by yourself. All right, get mentor, get people around. You know what I mean? I can even help you out throughout the process, right? Because if you have got that zeal, if you have got that integrity within yourself, you'll make it happen because you're a nice guy, you're a great looking guy. You have done already your hard works in the beginning. It's just the location is different. Hope that helps.
Thank you.
It's because you're trying to make your decision on the basis of what you already know and whether you would like to first experience Australian workplace culture or you would like to just keep on trying to find that particular job that you have experience on. I think it again comes back to the market because even though you really want to get that particular job which you have experience on, because you don't have experience in Australia, there are lots of hiring companies who again kind of not be very open to you, saying that, okay, you have this experience, I don't think you're capable of this or that. I don't want to discourage you, but then, it's about communication. Again, calling them and then, trying to know what the role is about and following back again. After you apply, if you just leave it, then it will be hard for you to get that job. But try to call them back and, just have a little small talk. Be very positive about this job, how you have so much experience and you're really keen to apply, because this organization has very clear alignment of what you want in a workplace too. So try to show them what they can offer you and then what you can offer them, just not on paper, but also calling them and being really keen about that, okay? So applying for that role, getting that role is not impossible, of course. Even you're fairly new, I have seen people who come and the other day they start corporate job. And then we feel like that's impossible, especially for somebody who has been here for almost years and years. But then if you have that passion, everybody see it through you. Okay, so keep on applying, definitely prioritize it, like Nick said, and then still on the side apply for those entry-level jobs so that you get that Australian workplace culture feeling, and then after that you get more confidence. Yeah, Mina, would you like to add something?
Yeah, just similar to what the guy's saying is a job's a job. That's if you don't hold yourself back, working just because you want to wait. As Nabina was saying, there might not be any jobs in your field right now. So yeah, get a job and just work. It shows that you're still able to, get a job and like actually do it, and just believe in yourself, man. Like if your resume is holding your back, is that what you said before? The resume, you're fixing it. Yeah. So that you got to do that today. Don't think about it again, because if you sleep tonight and you're like, oh, I still haven't done my resume. Honestly, a resume, like you put away an hour, and that's the other thing too. Like focus, guys. Like you got to do one thing at a time. There's so much pressure for you here, and I maybe haven't experienced it because I don't have to report back to your family overseas. But don't put that unnecessary pressure that I'm in Australia now. I need to get a good job. I got to get my PR. I got to buy a house. I have to be successful so my family's proud. I've met so many people from India or Sri Lanka or Nepal, and it's similar. You put that pressure where you're helping your family, but one by one, every day, do something different. Do the resume today. Okay, my resume is good. Share your resume tomorrow with Nick. Nick said he'll help you out. Say, oh, Nick, can you quickly just look at it? Or Mina, can you look at my resume? What do you think? Do you have any feedback? Okay, I'm going to apply for a job, entry level. While I'm looking for my expertise job, I'll look for an entry-level job, because at least if I get that senior role or the role that you want, the last 6 months you've been working for another tech company, so it doesn't show you're sitting around doing nothing at home. But every day, just tick something off and do something better, But yeah, that's it.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Hi, my name is Anu Shakya, and currently I'm working as an tech support, and that's a system. So my question is kind of similar to him. So I'm trying to switch a job, switch a role. So my priority is to get into the security. So the question is, how am I supposed to build my resume? Should I do have a skills, so should I put it as I have worked in a security in this role, or should I be saying I'm currently working as a tech support and I do have experience, I do have skills of this. So what's the next step for that?
I think it's similar to what we're saying. I think as you're applying for that next security role, it's good to show you're working now, because a business would rather employ someone that's currently employed than that is not employed. Because if you're not employed, like you're saying, you already have a job, as a tech support. So I would give you a job, not to sound rude or anything, but rather than the person next to you that doesn't have a job, because why is that person not getting the job? There would be a reason. So I would still work in your role you're doing, and then with your resume, update the security role and the technical skill sets you have, and apply for a job. Any job you apply for asks you how many weeks notice you give. So the reason they ask that question is because they expect you to have a job. If you're it's different when you've only been here for 3 minutes or a day or so, but you already have the job. So say, okay, I've got a job, update your resume, and then you got to give your notice. But your resume has to have the security skill set that for the job you're applying for. That's the other thing too. You can't just apply for. A lot of people just do, and I see it all the time, especially on LinkedIn. You can't just do blanket applying. You can't just apply for every job with the same resume and the same cover letter and the same, because of ATS picks that up already, but like a recruiter looks for how you personalize the application. So if you're applying for a security role, you really have to sell yourself as a security specialist, like, and why. You have to put that in your resume and your cover letter.
Yeah, but in that, like, let's suppose as an IT security officer, there would be a requirement like you need to know about the DHCP and how would you make a policy of the firewall, right? So it's just an example.
Yeah.
It might not be the correct one, but like an example. So I do have the skills how to manage the policies. I do know how to maintain the firewalls. So should I keep it as my tech skills, or should I put it in the description saying like I have done this things?
I would put
like
it in like high level in your resume because you can't detail it as much. But then in a cover letter or an application letter, I would detail it a bit more.
So saying like I have done it in my personal projects.
Yeah.
Right.
So that's why I say the portfolio is important too. So there's so many different things everyone's saying, but like LinkedIn is your digital CV. Yeah, so you can add a bit more. But LinkedIn, you can't really talk about your personal things more. That's why I really believe in this industry and like anything design or tech and that, the online portfolio, because then you can talk more about specific projects. Like all you got to do is add a link and like say, oh, this is a portfolio about me, and you can go into a bit more detail about that stuff in the cover letter and not in the CV. But on the CV and your LinkedIn, you would have the link to your portfolio. Yeah, I think the portfolio is so important. Like, I know it takes time because I've been watching Om do them. I don't do them, but it's just like another digital. It shows like your creativeness. You're not lazy. Your attentiveness and just like. And now with like automation, like you can make them pretty easily and like pretty quickly. But I think you always have to watch out that the resume gets blocked by ATS. So you have to work out ways to do it. And the way to do it is like they'll always ask you in a job. All right, you put your resume, whatever, you apply on LinkedIn because it's already saved into LinkedIn. And then the next part is like, do you want to add a cover letter? That cover letter has to be specific to that job. So you have to add as much in that information about all these projects you've done in that letter and your portfolio kind of thing. Because that doesn't get blocked. It's the first part. Your resume gets blocked, not that part from ATS. Yeah. And just give as much information, but again, not on the resume because the resume is just meant to be short, high level, and then give them the portfolio and like your information. Yeah, and every job has to be tailored. I was meant to say this before. Sorry, I know we're so over time, but your resume, your CV, your portfolio, even like your answers, it all has to be tailored to that company. So if you came today and you came for a job with IT Together, and you didn't know that me and Om own IT Together, they won't give you the job. Like if you don't know that IT Together, the logo is Kathmandu. Apparently, that's what Om said. It's like the I and the T, yeah? But that's meant to be Kathmandu because Om is from Kathmandu, isn't it? Yeah. So, like, not that you'll find that online, but if, like, when I was younger, I used to always, like, do a lot of research, you know? Like, everything has to be tailored to the job that you're applying for. When you go meet with Nabina about Cumberland Council, where is Cumberland Council? How big is Cumberland Council? The more information you have, like, the better attentiveness and knowledge you have on, like, applying for jobs. But yeah, I would update the resume with all your security stuff and a high level. Remember, high level, you have to follow it. But I'll give you my card after, and I'll help you fix your resume and stuff. So, you know.
Thank you. And I do have 2 more questions, but I hope I'm not taking too much. So one thing is about the, I'm currently in a TR, and for the security role, most of the companies look for the PR or the Australian citizen who can do the NV1 clearance. So how do we tackle those? How should we apply for it, or should we just skip those jobs? What's the things?
Look, I used to have quite a few government projects. So we're talking about this before, like clearance, yeah, to get level 1 clearance up to level 5. It took me about 2 years to get, but if you don't have it, I would say like if you don't have it, don't apply for it. But that's my personal experience because it's not up to me. I can't give it to you. You might be the nicest guy, have the best soft skills, all this stuff, technical expertise, but it's government work, it's federal. If you can't get the clearance, but in saying that, like what you have to then think about in your mind if you're aiming for those goals, as Nick said, in 3 or 4 or 5 years, whatever, those type of roles, because security is really all majority is government. That's the thing. It's all you have to work out without the pressure again, because we don't want to add pressure, is how you get your clearance, how you get your PR. I know a lot of the guys when they used to work with me, they were doing extra points. They have to do the point system and all that. And so your goal originally would be, or your focus would be, trying to find a job that helps you get the PR, whatever that is. Because, but and saying that, a lot of the government work or the clearance jobs, they're in Canberra too. Yeah, so like federal government so a lot of the guys I used to work for, I had an office in Canberra. That's why I had all those contracts. But there's no point applying if you don't have it, because it's not up to me. I can't give you the job because you're a nice guy, and I feel like, oh yeah, you'll give it. But the government, you got to have clearance, and clearance takes, even after you get your PR, it takes ages to get. So work out ways to get to that PR and then that clearance. But there's also like people that wouldn't need it right now, but I wouldn't apply for it if you don't have it, because they can't give it to you.
But can I add something to that? Okay, but there are companies or there are government sector where they don't need PR for particular roles. So like for council, which I'm working, it's a local government. So you have local government, state government and federal government, right? Federal government, most of the roles you need that clearance. So that's where probably something that you can look forward in 5 years. But then if it's council or state government, even and as education and other those state government departments, there are only few jobs which is related to very high level of confidentiality. That's where you need that clearance. So don't demotivate yourself looking at those requirements where they have mentioned that you need your citizenship and you need that clearance. But look for other opportunities, like what I did. I still applied, and then they did mention that it's good to have your permanent residency, but that they didn't mention must. Okay, so you just look for that criteria. Is it must or is it good to? Okay, so apply, but then if you're applying for somewhere where it's clearance required and it's mandatory, then that's when you might be applying and then it's going nowhere, but you have to realize that as well. Okay, so it also comes back to your looking for cybersecurity roles. Does it align with what you studied? Is that what your skill assessment on? So that kind of things, again, you have to probably consult with your migration lawyer and then find out that middle ground, whether that is helpful for your pathway to PR. So that all comes along with you while you're making a decision how you want your career to progress. Because like me, when I was in IT, I was also doing network roles, but I did not have title as network engineer or network support officer. I had a title very generic, which was service desk, and then I had to do networking as well as I had to do just customer service one as well as other IT roles. But then when you're applying for it, make it tailorized, okay? Make it tailored to what your roles are. Try to match it with what they have, depending on what you have done. Definitely not, just bluffing around like Nick said. Make it genuine and then apply it, because they're not looking at your title. They're looking at what roles and responsibilities you have done, what you have experience on. But again, come back to whether you want that permanent residency, whether you want to get your PR first and then apply for that high roles that you are, that's what your goal is in 5 years or 10 years. Yeah.
We are now over time, actually. It's almost 12 o'clock. So what we will do is break out for a networking, like know each other, and then we'll have a live demo session on, Om's gonna do a live demo session, and then we'll have another session of panelists from Click who have already got the job in IT, and they're going to share their experience. So that's another part of the session. I would really like to thank Nick, Navina, and Meena for their presence today. It's really good to know you in person and knowing you guys from the IT profession perspective. Perspective as well. All right, thank you. Thank you, everyone. Let's break out for half an hour, and then we come back again. Thank you. Om to the floor. Om will be doing some demo on how to some techie stuff. I don't want to steal his thunder. He will share what it is about. Right.
All right. Let me just. I think we'll just give everyone 1 minute and then we can start. Are you guys finding it good? Like, is it adding some values?
Yes. It's
so much honor for us to have you here, and hopefully we could provide some values to you guys. Now, while Meena and Navina and everyone guys in back earlier, they told you about values and how you should be good at your soft skills and everything. But then it's not just about soft skills. That's my way of putting it. Right? So it's not only about soft skills. You know why? Because let's say, imagine you know nothing about technical skills and you land a job, but then somehow you get into the system called Intune and you wipe the device of CEO or something like this. That's not something we want to have, right? So this is the reason why we also need to be a bit focused on technical skills. I'm not telling you guys that you need to learn all the technical skills around the world, but then there are few major technical skills or technical platforms that you need to at least know what it is, or it's just, you can sign up all these platforms that I'll show you now. You can pretty much sign up by yourself through the Google, and you can just use it by yourself and then learn how to add the device or learn how to perform different actions that I show you. Now, let me just put that on the other slide. Now, if you go onto the market, phones silent everyone if you can, thank you. Now, if you go into the market, right? So top 4 banks, so you mentioned it, top 4 banks or top corporates, they all will be using different types of, not softwares, but then different types of platforms, right? And so all the platform or all the IT platforms that you mentioned in IT revolves around these 4 things. What are these? Let's see. Modern device management, modern networking, cybersecurity, and disaster recovery. You mentioned the platform, it just revolves around these 4 different key terms, right? Now, I'm talking about IT support. If you're trying to get into the development or whatever it is, it's different, right? So if you are trying to get into IT support, these are the 4 different terms that's very much popular and you need to be focused on. So today I'll be showing you I'll be asking you guys the questions, as well as I'll be showing you a few demos. It's more like technical demos, right? Now, modern device management. Does anyone in the group have any idea what modern device management is? Yep.
So it's the we can say technology like Intune. We can have all the device managed from one common platform, or we can have number of things done like registration with the the authentication and authorization done for that basically devices.
Yeah.
It's I'm trying to put in layman's terms.
Yeah.
Otherwise it's
So
much more technical.
Yeah, that's right. He's absolutely right. But is there anyone in the group who can explain me what modern device management is in with the example? Is there anyone who would like to try? Modern device management.
Maybe I can.
Yeah.
I've been doing this stuff. So if I have to say in the simpler terms, it's a centralized system of all the corporate devices, or maybe just that we have. To better, in terms of example, if I have to say, let's say if you have to have one particular software deployed to all the users or all the devices, then you can't be going into a single user who has let's say 1,000 or 10,000 user bases.
Yeah.
Then you would need some solution to it, and that's been offered by MDM, which is device management. And the technical part of it, you do your, let's say, application deployment stuff normally done via Intune at this stage, and we have other solutions to I forgot the model engine.
Yeah.
And then you just push your you just plan your application in a way. Obviously, there are different dynamics to it. But let's say if you have to push a Google Chrome to everyone, you just package it, deploy it, and it will go to all the users you need.
Yeah, all good. So let me summarize what Saurabh said. All right. Now I'll take you back to a bit old days, not so much old days, but then few years back, or let's say a couple of decades back. How do you normally install an application in the computer? You download it from the Google or somewhere. You click next, install, right? Now imagine you are an IT employee of Commonwealth Bank. Commonwealth Bank is in every state, not just every state, but then it's in every suburb,
every suburb has computers, every suburb has iPads, every suburb has iPhones, right? So let's say, imagine you get a ticket to, obviously, install Google Chrome on all the 50,000 devices across Commonwealth Bank throughout the country. Obviously, you won't be getting that ticket without change management and things like that. But then if you get a ticket like that, and if you have to be a part of that, you can't simply go to each and every state or each and every branch and install it, right? So this is where modern device management comes in, right? So it's a central platform where company stores all the devices, and we can run different actions to the devices. And this is the modern age, so we need a modern solution. Or another example of modern device management can be, for example, all your employees are based in Australia, let's say, right? And you want to block any user or any device as soon as they log in to Pakistan. I'm not saying Pakistan is wrong, I'm just trying to give the example of different location, or Ukraine. Do you think as a human we can individually check each and every account to see what has been logged in and which location has been logged in? No, right? So there must be some sort of system where as soon as it's logged into Ukraine or Pakistan or Nepal or India or China, it should just let us know. So these are the part of modern device management, guys. All right, just for a quick demo, I will give you a quick example of how modern device management looks like. For example, let's say this is my computer, right? So the computer can be 50,000 computers in CommBank, let's say. I'm just giving an example, right? Now, if you see, I want to install an application called something, let's say 7-Zip. There's no 7-Zip here now, right? You see? Now with this, so this is not the app actually, it shows as the app, but it takes you to the Google. Oh, there is. Let me delete it. Uninstall, how do we uninstall the app? Okay, let me uninstall the app, right? Now the app is uninstalled. Now with the modern device management tools like RMM or Intune, Intune is quite popular in workplace, right? With these tools, what I can do now is simply, I can go to the device, I can just select my device, for example, test PC that I've created today. And what I can do is I can, with a click of a button, I can click on automation, right? Click on install application. I can select any application from the list. You can create applications. You can simply upload the applications here, whether it's Chrome or whatever it is. Then all I do is I run it onto the computer. Now, I'm doing it for one computer, right? But then you can do it for all the computers that's here by selecting all. So this is modern device management. Now, if I go onto the PC within a minute or two, I will be able to see app called 7-Zip. We will try in a while, right? So, but this is modern device management. So this is how modern device management works. And so modern device management, basically it's a way to also save a cost for the businesses, right? Because there is no any human interference needed, right? It's all basically one person will do from the remote location through a central platform. So what I'm trying to connect to you guys is, so these are the tools that's already in the industry, right? Coming out from the uni, fresh as a graduate, so you are not aware about these tools, right? So there are a lot of tools like this, NinjaOne, Datto, right? Intune, and all these companies, they offer a free trial. So today, once you go home, maybe just try, signing up, and then, install it onto your computer and do a remote access. Not just that, but you can also, there are free platforms like Action One. It's completely free for 200 devices. So you can use it, right? And the other thing is, let me now check whether the app has come through or not. Sometimes it might take some time. 7-Zip, is it here? No. All right. So when we say networking, there are a few major components that's needed, or major devices. So one of them is a router. So this is my portable router, just to show you guys. But let's assume this as NBN, This is your ISP. Let's say this is the ISP who provides the internet. All right. So now how the networking device is set up is there are layers. Layer 1 will be, first layer will be a router. Router is something, it talks to ISP and gets the internet. So I'm just trying to, I don't want to get into too technical, but then how it works is there is a router, there is an NBN point, right? From NBN, the internet is shared to a router. So that's what we are doing now. Now, if you see the router, sorry, modem, I plug it here. This is now the source for the internet. Now, other end, I plug it to the router. And if you see on the router, there are LAN and WAN. What do you think? Which port do I connect to? It's WAN and LAN. LAN is local area network, just for the internal devices. But WAN is something called wide area network, to be able to connect to the ISP or wider network outside of this building, right? Now it's here. Now from the router, the second layer will be obviously the switch. Yeah. So the switch is here. Basically, why we need switch? Do you guys have any idea why we need switch? Why not just this? Right. So basically, how it works is, if you see this building, there is CCTV, there is access point, there is cable connected to the computer, right? So switch is needed to distribute the network to multiple devices, right? So it just acts as this. So we input internet in one port, and then all other will be active automatically. Not just that, there are a lot of things like VLAN tagging and stuff like that, which you will not understand obviously now, right? Now let me connect to the switch as well. So if you see on the switch, there is it's not necessary that you connect a switch to a cable to a specific port. You can connect to any port as you wish, all right? And once you connect in one port, all the other ports will be activated by itself. Now again, this switch will receive internet from where? Router, right? Now again, here it's a LAN port routers. I can basically connect to any port. Now the idea is this will get the internet, this will get the internet. Now the next is this access point. So if you see this is the very special device. I'll quickly give you an example. For example, if you go to hospitals or to big unis, you see this all around, lying around on the, what do you see? Selling, sorry. Yeah. So basically what it does, it throws Wi-Fi, not just throws, but then it connects with other similar access points like this. It just tries to find its brothers or sisters and then gets connected, right? As soon as it's connected, now what happens is no matter how much you walk around, your phone or your computer will be connected with the same internet connection, stable one. So if you don't have these multiple ones, what happens is you just get connected on a specific area. Once you get out of that area, you won't be getting connected, right? So that's the reason why like big buildings and everything, they just have this multiple to cover all the areas. Now what I do is, again, here, there are two ports, LAN 1 and LAN 2, but LAN 1 says PoE, LAN 2 says nothing. What does PoE means? Do you have any idea? Obviously this thing will need a power, right? But then we won't be connecting any adapter upstairs. So this is where power over Ethernet comes handy. So this is the cable. It just carries not just data, but also the power. Once we connect it here, it also, the power also passes along, right? And this gets connected where? In switch, all right? Now I will be connecting it to the switch. And it's very important that the switch also needs to be power over Ethernet. If you see here on the switch, it says power over Ethernet, PoE, right? Now, it's time for magic. Let's see. So this specific company called Ruizy. I didn't know it before. So I am using this device just for the second time. I'm quite used to it. Cisco Meraki. It's a great product. But this is also quite getting popular in Australia these days, right? It's very good for small businesses, small to medium. But then big companies, they would use a different version of this, more bigger and then more powerful and with more features, right? Now it's time to power on these devices. Let me just power this on, all right? Do you have the adapter connected? For them, what they claim is, so all the network will be set up in less than 3 minutes. That's what they claim, but let's figure it out. Let's see. Now, in a short matter of time, you should be able to see all the networks that we create. For example, the Wi-Fi we might be creating, you will be seeing that on your mobile phone. So everything is now connected. Let's just double check. It has got the power. This thing has got the power here. And this should also get the power, and then we can then get started on what to do. Is the power on? Both? Yeah. So that's the reason I added the new one. Now, let's see how this is set up in a corporate environment, all right? Now, yeah. So now they do have their portal here, which is called Ruizy Cloud, right? You can see on the screen down there as well, or here, it's the same thing. So now how it works is basically in the corporate, all they do is they go and click on add a project. Sorry, let me go to home. They click the project. Just give it a name, like project name can be your company name or your branch name. Let's say for now it's Parramatta branch. Here, it's so simple that it's just asking me to set up what device. It's just asking me what device to set up, whether it's AP. What's AP is access point, right? Or gateway, or switch, or home router, or wireless bridge, or whatever it is. Now, in our case, this is also called gateway, right? So always when we start, we will need to start adding device from first layer. This is the first layer, which is a router, right? Now it's just asking me where to start. I will start with, there is a reason why we should choose the first layer. I will explain you in a while. It's just now asking me the serial number. Do you have the serial number? H, would you be able to read that out for me?
H1 U5 1RH 00 1074.
Is this the one?
Yeah.
Now I'll set up a management password again here for this specific device. Is not just like explaining how you need soft skills in workplace. Sometimes there might be some issues happening. Just please bear with me, all right? Hopefully it works this time, guys. It has been installed here, 7-zip, right? So this is how it works, right? So this is a part of modern device management. Sorry, it was my bad. Now let's go and try and see how Ruizy works. I'll just give it a try for one last time. If that does not work, so we will have to do the other way. So one of the other, so another topic is cybersecurity, right? So one of the other tools that businesses use is MDR and EDR things, right? What that means is basically they need some sort of system where they can go into it and then find if the user has been compromised or not. if the user data has been leaked online somewhere in the dark web or not, right? So these are the tools. Like if you see now here, there is this incident that has come through, right? Let me just show you guys. Here, system has automatically figured out that the user Sunil Tamang has been hacked or something. You see this? So successful phishing attack has been detected with unauthorized programming access to this user. Please do things like this. Now, this is called MDR and EDR. So basically what this does is it scans all the tools and systems that company uses, and then it suggests us on what to do next with this. So you can just see here what we can do, recommended actions, suspend the user, reset user password, and things like that. So we need to do on the company systems here, right? So this is specific tool called Guards. It's quite popular in Australia, along with CrowdStrike, Sophos, and everything. So it is used for cybersecurity, all right? Once we enroll all the users here, we don't have to worry anything about it. Like it just automates a lot of things, right? So next on the presentation is disaster recovery. There are few tools I wanted to show you guys. So this is called Veeam Backup. So in the company, there are times when things go wrong. For example, server gets down or server gets fire, or the whole building collapses or things like that. It's a disaster, right? So in the company, there are a lot of tools they use, like for example, Veeam Backup or Data Backup. So these are the tools you should be using. So disaster recovery, please go home and see what Veeam Backup is, or see what Datto is, guys. All right. So that's pretty much all for the technical part. Sorry, things didn't went out as we expected for this networking side, but hopefully we will come up with some webinars online as well. Thank you. Let's wrap it up.
Thanks, everyone. Thanks for waiting. I know it's been a long day already. I will try to make this one short. What we will do is we'll share some experience from our graduates or students who have joined Click in the past, and they have built their career in IT, and then they would like to share some insights on how they landed the job, what it is about working in an IT company, and whatnot. So I would like to invite Ayush, Saurabh, and Raksha. I believe Raksha is just outside. Let me see if she is around. Okay. Let's start by introducing yourselves, guys. Come on, tell me about yourself.
So, hello everybody. My name is Ayush, and I'm really nervous because I'm really scared of public speaking. So, with me, I'm an IT graduate. I completed my bachelor's in Bachelor's of Information Systems from Western Sydney. After which, I was lucky to land a role in IT support level 2. So I've already worked in the industry for about 14 months now. So I pass this mic to Raksha.
Good afternoon again. Nice to see you all today. My name is Raksha, and I did a Master of IT. My major was Data Analytics and Business Information System. I started with IT support role in an MSP. I have about 16 months, nearly 2 years of experience now. Now I'm enrolled. I'm currently in my second job at the moment, and I'm working as a business analyst. Thank you.
Hi everyone, my name is Saurabh Brownier. I work as level 2 cloud support technician, and it has been like 20 months since I have got my IT job, and we'll be talking forward. Let's see what question comes across.
Thank you. Okay, let's start with Raksha. How did you enter into the IT industry in Australia? What was your first role, and what was the early challenges that you faced?
Thank you for the question. So like everyone else here, I was in your shoes once. So from second year, in the second year of my degree, I started applying for jobs relentlessly, every day, no excuses. Because I knew I had to land an IT role. At one point I had like 5 different odd jobs because I was trying to make up for the fee. We have all been through the challenges you have. So it's like, collecting fees, getting enough sleep, doing the assignments, and also applying for jobs. So my first few challenges would be, one thing that I realize now, I didn't have a mentor back then, so it was a huge disadvantage for myself because I had to steer myself into any direction I thought and I deemed was right for me. If I had someone watching over me, maybe I would have an easier time. Another challenge is you have to be careful of what kind of people you have around you, because people only see that you can go as far as they have done for themselves. So that can be a very limiting belief for when you know what you want, but then the people around you don't understand that. So that was one of my challenges, because I was told by countless people to change into nursing. Thankfully, I didn't. These would be my very first challenges.
Thank you. Yeah, thanks, Raksha. Now, same question to Ayush. What was your first role and what were the early challenges that you faced?
So my first role in IT support was actually a field technician. So in this role, what I did was I used to go to regional sites and help set up election offices for the electoral council. So some of the challenges that I faced while I was searching for a role was the lack of experience. As any job role that I applied for, they need some sort of experience. So in order to get that, I did go through one of my mentors, Om. So I did help Om with some of his projects just so I could get some insights on it. Once I had some insights, I was able to be more confident in interviews. And so I'd say that would be one of the main reasons that I landed the role. And yeah, that's pretty much it from my end.
Yeah, thanks, Ayush. I'm passing on the mic to Saurav. Saurav, how did you enter in IT in Australia, and what were the challenges to start with?
Sorry, what the question? How did I enter IT in Australia? So based off my experience, it was like around year 2024 April when I came in touch with Click. And for me, I have been a bit lost guy before. Basically, it's maybe everyone's story, doing odd jobs and doing whatever, in my comfort zone. But then there was a reality check for me. I had to do something to get, in an area where I am currently. So there was something that hit my mind, and I wanted I had a deadline that by this July or June I would have an IT job with me. So I created a deadline for me. I came in contact with Click, and like everyone here knows, here is the guy, Umdai, Saurabh, everyone here, they guided me through, and by the end of June I had a job offer in hand, and that doesn't mean I did nothing through the 3 months of period. There were like a lot of things. I've been into the classes, doing practical session regularly. In the second week, I was in interview session with Saurabh, and even though I got a job, the funny thing is, even though I got a job, I was in random interview session. It was just like one stop for me. I wanted to brush my interview skills. And even now, I do apply for the jobs, not for switching the jobs, but getting myself better. I was showing someone like how many unfortunate leads messages I have. Like it's always 90% of the time, but that doesn't stop me. I would still be doing that. I'll be still applying for the jobs just to, garnish my skills. And that has been something, pushing me always. So this is, like I would say, don't stop applying for the jobs. There will be many yeses, but if it's one yes for you, that's it. That's what you are after. So easy. Thank you.
Thanks, Saurav. Thanks for sharing that. Now, passing the question to Raksha. When you started job, right? Like, what were the expectations from the workplace, and what was it like working professionally in a professional environment? How was it like to you? Can you share that?
So in my interview for the job, I was asked a couple of technical questions because the job itself was very entry level. But they asked me a lot of behavioral questions. Like Navina said before, how do you deal with a difficult customer? So you have a CEO, he has a meeting in 5 minutes, his headset isn't working. What would you do? So that kind of questions. I think they were looking for someone temporary, but I think I won them over with my soft skills because I was good with communication. Even back home, I had 6 months of experience in IT itself, so I kind of brought that over, tried to be the, bigger person or something, I don't know. But yeah, I gave it all because that was my first interview ever. And so when I first got there, they just expected me to smile. I think what they said was, make the other person in, other end of line happy. Yeah, so you are supposed to make them happy, and it's not, you're only not supposed to solve their problems, but then again, equip them for later because IT support, 90% is restart the computer. So you have to make sure the people you are catering to, you enable them to solve the problems themselves if it's within their capacity. So that's what they told me.
Thank you. Thanks, Raksha. Now, moving on to Ayush. What was expected from you on your first job? Did they expect you to just switch on, go and solve this ticket day one? How was it like?
So similar to Raksha, my first job interview for a professional environment, which was the level 2 role, was more like an on-site role. So in the interview, it was, I'd say, 90% soft skills, and it was just 10% technical skills, because my hiring manager was like, technical skills, it's already in your resume. It's just that I wanted to see how you would perform when you're talking to someone. So from the first day itself, my lead, his main thing was something called celebrity service, which means what kind of service would you give to your favorite celebrity? Let's say if Brad Pitt came here, what sort of service would you give Brad Pitt? So he said, you take that energy to anyone that comes. Even though you don't know the answer, you still kind of smile at them, you kind of make them calm, and you never be too technical to your users. You, even though, so even though it's a really minor solution, just act like it was a really, I'd say, something complex. Just explain to them that, it's, it's something everyone goes through. Just don't make them feel like, yes. So yeah, that was what was expected from me, and it was all smiles, like Raksha said. So yeah.
Thank you. Thanks, Ayush. Moving on, I'll have a rapid fire round, right? Give me 2 technical, 2 non-technical skills that is expected from a IT service desk person or a level 1 person.
I'll go with the non-technical skill, which is in soft skills. First would be customer service, which includes communication skills as well. And next would be your problem-solving skills. So these are 2. And for technical, I would say first, please just know how to restart the computer. When I say computer, it doesn't mean just the computer. It can be any of the services, any of the applications. So restart. And next would be just staying detailed with whatever you are doing to yourself, not to your customer. Easy.
Okay, Raksha, same question. What are the 2 technical skills?
I would categorize as him. I would say communication. Please remember dogs' names. If they tell you, you don't ever forget that. And also problem solving. How you approach a problem is very important. It doesn't matter that you solve them. You can always escalate. But how you approach, and before escalating, always make points of whatever you've done before, so you're making other person's job easier. And technical skills. When you're applying for a company, they tell you what they use. So make sure you have done your research, at least know the vendor, what tools they're using. Like Om sir said before, if you have created an account, and if you have, a few switches, buttons, whatever they have, it's a huge plus point.
Yep, thank you. Now, coming to the hiring part, right? How many interviews have you faced, and what was your experience? The interview session, I'm not going to the hiring part, but the first phase of creating your resume and going through all that. Can you share a little bit about that?
Regarding the interviews and creating the resumes, I'd say most of the hard work was done in training. This is just my personal side of things. So most of my interview practice was done in Click via Saurabh sir and Sunil sir itself. So I was applying for a lot of roles, but I didn't really get as much as interviews, and I didn't get as much as replies because my resume was not good. So I think I've edited my resume like 20 of times. There's so many versions of my resume. And in terms of interview as well, we've been through so many scenarios during practice. So I'd say I did fail a couple of interviews, but the interviews that I have passed was mostly because of my confidence on my answers. So I'd say that would be the main focus. So just be confident. That's my advice.
Thanks. Moving on to Saurav again. Okay. Now you've worked for IT and like 20 months, almost 20 months, and you're there now, like you're one of them, right? So what pathways should people choose? Like, is it MSP or is it networking or is it through internship? What pathways people should choose to get into IT?
Okay, so my suggestion, like all of the things you said, there is no choice when you get to the IT first. But if you get to prioritize something, I would say, like from my personal experience, if it's entry-level job, that's where we don't have any options. Try doing for MSPs because you'll get a bit of experience around the things in a channelized way, so that you don't have to exercise your own strategies which might not work for them. So you get to work in a channel and you get quite experience. But then if you have to, like if you really have some hands-on experience and you want to really learn, just go for the small organization because you will touch different things for them. It will not be limited to a part of your job. There will be many dimensions that you'll be working on with the team, and that would not only improve your technical skills, but you'll be working for the organization, like being a core member to them. So I would prefer working in a small organization, and uplifting the organization would be a valuable thing for at least myself to do.
Sure, thank you. Now, okay, wrapping things up, right? It's going to be a short one, I promised, right? So what would be, like anyone can answer this one, what would be a advice to someone who is looking for an IT career today? Like what they are looking for? What are the areas they should focus on? What are, I know we talked about communication skills, soft skill and all that, but is there anything in particular that they should be looking into to build their career? Like what is it? Like why IT and how IT? Can anyone of you answer that?
Maybe I can go first and then I'll pass into the mic. So if you really want to build a career in IT, that there are let's get back to the basics. So there are requirements for the job. You have to satisfy the requirement, easy as that. But to satisfy those requirements, what you have to be, obviously the soft skill and the technical skills. Soft skill that are something that you carry within, and it's just that everyone has that. It's just that who practices it more. So if it is coming down to the softer skills, you just try to express them. Like, let's say I was just having in my mind, like in my childhood, I was very shy to go in front and talk to anyone. But I think it was Nick saying, like, at the end of the day, everybody is human, right? They won't eat you up. So just go and talk, and you could slowly get away from the things which is actually stopping you. So one is that, and and talking about the technical skill, you have to get around with the technical stuff that you want to work on in the future. You really have to get around the stuff. If you, let's give an example. I'm not saying like this or that job. Let's say if everybody's definitely not everybody is working in IT, but if you are working on something, like maybe be it hospitality, be it customer service, you get around to the technologies and you're actually trained to do that. I mean, you have to do that because you have to do that. So you just exercise those technical skills. You have to get around those technologies. Like we just encountered one trouble, like we failed one troubleshooting, and that I would not say a fail because we didn't get enough time to do it. Obviously, there was a ticket actually, and so yeah. That's the technical skill part, and the soft skill I've already mentioned. Like, get around most of the things, get around the people, learn from them. I was talking to one of the guys, like my company has some of the openings for software engineer and the QA engineer, so I just network with them. So these are the essential skills, you know. And network is the net worth. It has been repeated again. So yeah.
I'd like to say two things. Doesn't necessarily mean we can only use in the field of IT. If you don't ask, the answer is always a no. So make sure you ask questions to the right people, the right questions. And also, don't be scared to ask for help, because people want to see you succeed. People want to help you. So, get over yourself, because I have such a hard time asking for help. And, if you don't ask for help, you stay behind. That's 100%. Yeah.
Thanks.
With me, I'd just like to end in a single note, just saying that when you start doing it, you actually start doing it. That's pretty much from my end.
Thanks, Ayush. Thanks, Saurabh and Raksha. It was really short and good insight from you guys. Thanks for sharing your experience. And that's a wrap. But before we go, we have a quiz, and I need Om for that. 1 second. And the winner of the quiz will get a MS900 voucher, gift voucher, to get that certification done. 1 second. Let me get Om. Scan the QR code and start answering the questions. And whoever gets the most answers, or whoever gets the quickest answers, will be the winner. The winner will be displayed on the screen, and then we will announce the winner. And the winner will get a voucher for MS900 certification. Everyone's voted. Let's go to 4. Okay, we have a leaderboard now, and the winner is Raksha. All right, Raksha, please come forward to collect your voucher.
I want to give it away.
Yeah.
I want to give it away because my job covers all my certifications. I don't know how I'll let you be the judge.
Okay, second. Who is second? Second on the list. Then it's Sudeep. Come on, give it yourself. He also wants to give away. Okay, then give it away to someone else. Johnny. Who is Johnny? Oh, Sanjog, sorry, my bad. Sanjog. Sudeep is himself. Sanjog, okay, Sanjog, come forward. All right, a lot of giveaways here. Generous guys. See? Good things happen to good people. Well done. Congratulations. Thank you. All right, guys. That's a wrap. We'll have a LinkedIn photo shoot, like as promised. So stay back if you want to do that photo shoot. We'll just have it here on the wall. That's a wrap for today. Thank you for joining today, and then really appreciate your presence. Thank you.
Yay!